So we're now going to begin, and we're going to go on an animal adventure. Does anyone here have a favourite animal? Hands up. What's your favourite animal? A dog? Brilliant. I'm sure there's lots of dog lovers in here. Anyone else? In the pink jumper? Two cat lovers. Amazing. So, Kelly Edmunds is going to talk to us about some animals that you've probably never heard of before, and maybe we'll add some new favourite animals to your list. So, please give us a big round of applause and take it away, Kelly.
Morning, everybody. Is the mic working all right? Wonderful. Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming along. I'm really excited to get to tell you just about a few animals. And Hannah said there's some animals you won't have heard of. There's some you'll recognise, but I'm hoping by the end of the talk you'll have a few bits of information that you don't know about these animals. So Hannah asked, do you have a favourite animal? And some of you gave your answers. You don't need to tell me them now, but maybe your favourite animal is something really fast. Maybe your animal is something that's a bit fierce. Maybe it's got feathers, a little bit fancy. Or maybe it's got fins or flippers. But whatever your favourite animal is, if we all thought really hard about our favourite animal, there's more than 7.7 million animals in the world. And between us, we wouldn't be able to think of even 1% of them if we listed every animal we know. But if we all think really hard about our favourite animal, I bet none of us thought about this one. Did anyone think about this one? No. This brightly coloured, amazing creature is a slime mould. And slime moulds can be really small, microscopic, one single cell, or lots of those microscopic single cells can get together and merge to form a big single-celled slime mould. It's called Physarum, and the reason I wanted to tell you about it today is because you probably didn't know of it before, so you've learned something new already. But what slime moulds can do, among many amazing things, is they can make decisions, and they don't have a brain. And they make decisions such as the best or the most efficient route to get to their food. So if you scattered food around a container with a slime mould in, they'll quickly find the most efficient way to get there, but they don't have a brain. We don't really know how they do it. But I'm not just going to tell you about slime moulds today. There's a huge amount of diversity in the animals we see on Earth. There'll be some you recognise up there, some that aren't animals, some plants that are really important for animal life. What I'm going to tell you about today is all based around this table. And if it's all right with you, I'd like to do this behind the doors of an advent calendar. What door number did you open in your advent calendar this morning, if you opened it? What did you open? High pressure situation here. Number 17, that's what I opened too. So because it's the 17th, we're going to look through 17 doors on an advent calendar. So it looks like this. And if you've got paper in front of you, if you've sat somewhere where there's paper and pencils, you've got a blank version of this. Am I getting too close? Am I too close there? So if you've got a blank version, something to write with, I can see a few being passed around. By all means, move them around if you need to. As we open these doors, what we'll do for each door, or behind each door, is an animal. And here, and on the screen, are some clues about that animal. So you're going to help me. You're going to be detectives, animal detectives. And you're going to help me on our animal adventure to figure out what's behind each door. I'm going to give you some clues. You're going to get to touch and feel some clues. Some of you will get to come up and have a look at them as we go. And on your piece of paper, you can draw what you think it might be, because you can't all guess at the same time. So you could draw out your guess or write it out however you want. So listen to the clues and see if you can figure it out. Are we ready, detectives? Wonderful. So door number 1. The animal behind door number 1 produced this. Did someone say beehive? Not a beehive, not a beehive. Though I love that guess. Here's a smaller version of it. Is it going to feed through? There we are, lovely. Look. Oh, I'm so good on the screen. So what we've got here are teeth, molars. So if you get your tongue, put it at the back of your teeth. The flat ones, they feel a bit bumpy. These are from a different animal. They're the back teeth. Now let's just have a look at this really big one here. This is very special. A wonderful colleague of mine, Carl, found this in Cambridgeshire and very kindly lent it to us. I can't let you see it because it is so fragile. I can't let you touch it. You can see it. But look, how big must this animal have been compared to my molars? So we've got some clues here with the teeth. So if you think you might know what it is, maybe draw it down. I'll give you some more clues. We'll do this one. Does anyone know what this might be? Can you see nicely? You can see there's rings on this, but it's an animal, so it's not going to be a tree trunk. In the blue jumper. Nice and loud for us. Did anyone, one of you, do you mind? There's a young lad. I couldn't hear what you said, but someone is going to relay for me. If you just wave at Helen, this is Helen. Thanks, Helen. That's it. Nice and loud for Helen. What did you think it was?
Maybe like a beaver, a piece of wood that a beaver...
Oh, a piece of wood that beavers chewed. Wonderful. It is not a piece of wood, though, so it's not from a beaver. Let's go to the front. Go on, then. An elephant trunk. Not an elephant trunk. Last guess in the grey top with the stripes on, yes? It's not a bone. I'll tell you, otherwise we might be here a while. This is a section of a tusk. Let's give you the final clue. And I didn't just get this out of the Hoover. This is fur. So, I'm going to show you what it is. Oh, there's a guess at the back, is there? Oh, go on then. Would you like to guess at the back? What do you think it might be? A woolly mammoth, you say?
Woolly mammoth.
One ring for each ear, if they ask. So Helen and Becky are going to bring some of these parts around. Helen and Ellen, and Becky's over there, are going to bring some of these around. You can have a look, but we'll keep going through the doors of our advent calendar, shall we? Well done, anyone who guessed mammoth. So, door number 2. Behind door number 2 is something much, much smaller. You can go back. Go on. Yeah. Behind door number 2 is something that weighs as much as a medium-sized tomato. Not cherry, a medium-sized tomato. About 90, 95 grams. And on here, how close can I come really close? Yeah, let's see what happens. Can you see what's on here? A bit too close. If I stand really still. There we go, there we go. Look at this. I wish I'd done my nails. There's 3, these are called the molts, of 3 different individuals as they grew bigger and bigger. And on them, they have claws. Now, if you could all, you can go to the main screen now. If you will hold your hand up for me, let me just see. In the yellow jumper, could you hold your hand up really high for me? That is the perfect size hand to fit 2 of them next to each other. So they're very small and they don't weigh very much. Who would like to have a guess what we might have behind door number 2? Oh, I'm going to be so impressed. We're going to go one on each side. Red jumper, very excited. A scorpion, a wonderful guess, but not what produced these particular molts. So let's go over on this side. In the penguin jumper. Spider, no. No, these have less legs than a spider, fewer legs than a spider. The creature behind door number 2, I wish I could get you all to put your guesses out. The creature behind door number 2 is rare in this country. It's a white-clawed crayfish. They live in fresh water, so in rivers, and there aren't as many as there used to be. There's a crayfish that's come from North America called the signal crayfish. And the signal crayfish has brought a plague that is causing problems for our native white-clawed crayfish. If you're excited to see these little creatures, Banham Zoo are breeding them, doing a wonderful job of breeding them. I'll come to you in a minute. So super, this is what our calendar should look like. Do your drawings, your calendars look a bit like this? Yeah, some thumbs up? Super. Should we try door number 3? Door number 3 produced this. What do you think this might be? In the grey jumper, what do you think I'm holding? I am holding poo. Who's poo? There's some games of who's poo out there with the book bugs and dragon tails. Let me tell you about the creature first. Rest your hands, I'll give you some clues and you can have a guess in a moment. The animal that produced this has a really close relationship with humans. We've domesticated them about 5,000 years ago. Not a dog. Hands down if you've got dog in your head. These animals have a really efficient digestive system. About 95% of what they eat gets used. So this poo is no good for your garden. No good spreading this on your vegetables. It's not got very many nutrients left in it. Okay, lots of hands still up, so lots of people still confident. Let's see. Right behind the camera here, what are you thinking? Monkey. A monkey. It's a good guess. And there are some monkeys later on, but it's not this one. I'm going to go right to the back in the white cardigan. A cow? Did you say a cow? It's a similar size. It's not a cow. Shall we go back and shall we see what it is? I'd love to get you all to guess, but we've got 17 doors to go through. So behind door number 3 is a donkey. Wave at me if you had donkey. Few of you had donkey. Okay, well done. So something like this should be our advent calendars now. Something a bit different behind door number 4, because behind door number 4, there's a noise. Listen to this. And there's some more poo, smaller this time. So we've got smaller poo, we've got that noise, which was a female, not that it makes much difference for this animal. And I've also brought from home our festive winter plate, because this plate is the same size as the hoof print of door number 4's animal. So we've got 3 clues. You heard it. This is the footprint size, and we've got little poo. Who'd like to hazard a guess behind door number 4? I'm going to try and go to people I've not gone to before. In the middle, in the black jumper with the red and white on it. Yeah? Yes? A reindeer. No, bigger. Think bigger than a reindeer. In the, have you got a Frozen jumper on? Oh no, ho, ho, ho. No, what does it say? You with the lovely jumper on. Elephant. No, elephant poo's much bigger than that. So the footprint, you're right with the footprint clue. Let's get all of them. I'll go for one more. A grey jumper in the middle. Oh. No, but the person behind you also had a guess, which was, yep, not a moose. Behind door number 4, we have, brace. Okay, wave at me if you had giraffe. Yeah, lots of waving at the back. Good job. Okay, you're getting good at this. That was a lot of waving for door number 4. So I think if we do door number 5, and then maybe some of you can come up here and have a little look. So something like this should be your advent calendar now. Door number 5 has another noise for us. Are you ready? You're definitely going to need a second clue. Are you ready? I might need an assistant. This is really, really heavy. Oh. So this is from an animal that spends 5 months of the year under the sea ice. So they do a bit better with ice than we have this week, probably. Narwhal! It is indeed a narwhal. This is a tooth, a specialised tooth that's spiralled, and it's full, this tooth is full of about 10 million nerve endings. 10 million nerve endings. And they think there's a common misconception that this is used to puncture the ice. But the males will all have 1 or 2 of these. Females, only about 15% of females. So in this room, probably about the first 4 or 5 rows of females would have them. The rest wouldn't. So it can't be used for anything that all narwhals need. It can't be for anything essential. So they think, they being the scientific world, that this is important for communication, and narwhals touch tusks, and it communicates information about what the sea was like that they've just swum through. So this tusk, which I realise not many of you will have a chance to see a narwhal tusk ever, we'll make sure we put this out somewhere that you can have a good look at this later on if you'd like to. So let's pop it. Do you want to take it? Or pop it? You can take it, yeah. Thanks, Helen. So yes, behind door number 5, we have a narwhal. So you guys are getting really good because a lot of you shouted that out. That's how good you are now as animal detectives. So are there maybe 5 of you that might like to come up and see if you can help guess from the front? Yeah? Joe, would you like to choose 5? We've got some little lab coats for you. Hello. Would you like to have a... Try and pop it on your head. Just try. What's your name? Felix. There you go. Scientist Felix. Wonderful. Oh, hello. What's your name? Hi, Suki. Would you like to pop this on? That's just a regular Satsuma, that one, Felix, but it's very important later on. They can go over the heads quite long. Well done. What's your name? Hi, Casper. Hello, what's your name? Anna. Casper. It is from the Polar Express. So we've got Felix and Suki and Casper and Alex and Anna. Thank you, my detectives. So we've been through to door number 5, and we're going to have a look now behind door number 6. And this is what's behind door number 6. There's 2 of them. You can pick these up. Here you go, Alex. The top and the bottom separate. That's right. So you need to give me the information. I tell the audience. What clues have we got? He thinks it looks like a baby human skull. So what kind? An old human skull.
Like a Stone Age.
A Stone Age one, okay.
Bigger jaws.
Bigger jaws. Should we compare the two together? They're from the same species, but one is male and one is female. What's the difference?
I think this one's male because it's bigger and larger.
So you think the male skull is bigger and larger. Can I just show that to the camera? Can I just take that one, Suki? So here's what we think might be the male skull. Really, really big teeth here. Who thinks this one might be the male one? The bigger one's the male one. Wave at me. Tiger. Someone said tiger. It's not a tiger. Do you think it's a tiger? Let's compare them, shall we? Maybe a saber-toothed tiger. Okay, shall I give you some more clues? These live in West Africa. They are the largest of their type of animal, particularly the males. You're right, this is the male. And this will probably be the clue that gives it away, guys at the front. Do you know of any animals that have really colourful faces? A baboon? A baboon, you say? Parrots do, but these haven't got a beak, have they? These are going to be mammals. Let's have a look. That's a mandrill. It's an old world monkey, the largest of the baboons. So that is a male which has just like this. So you see, this is where the red and the blue would be. Yeah, so they have big teeth. Why do you think the males, mandrills, might have big teeth? Robin, why do you think the males have the big teeth? So they can hunt. Not so much hunt, but more to scare other males and say, look, I'm big and scary. I'm big and scary and you don't want to come near me. So the females live in a horde. The males don't tend to live in the horde for most of the year. But it's not just their faces that they use to show off that they're big and scary. They also like to show off how attractive they are, how beautiful they are with their colourful bottoms. Oh my gosh, indeed.
Perfection.
So these are mandrills. Well done if you had a mandrill or a baboon behind door number 6. Right, detective, should we try door number 7? Something different for door number 7. Not a skull this time. Not onto those yet. This one. Right. This one we have to be very careful with because Helen's dad very kindly glued some of this back together. This is somewhere between 5 and 23 million years old. So this is the oldest thing we've looked at so far. Anna, would you like to hold it very carefully with 2 hands underneath? Like I've got it under, that's it. Is it heavy? How's it? Is it heavy? Is it heavier or lighter than you thought it would be? Heavier than you thought it would be. Yeah, should we look at the shape? What do you think about the shape? Can I show it on the camera? Can you hold it up for the camera? There you go, nice. Well done. The camera's just over there. See, that's it. So it's got a hole in the middle. Does anybody have any guesses as to what this might be? I'll give you one clue to start with. It's a bone. It's a bone. Let's have somebody we've not heard from so far. Yes, and the spotted jumper at the front. A heart? It's not a heart. A heart is soft tissue and it wouldn't fossilise well. This is a bone. It's very thick to protect the animal from high pressure. The animal this came from can dive down about a mile. In the Christmas tree jumper. Yeah? It's not a shell. One more. In the grey jumper, reach it as high as it can. What do you think it might be? That's it, you. You're going to have to go up. Hang on, Helen's coming up. You can shout it, go on, Mum. Ear bone, wonderful. Yes, this is the tympanic bone from a whale that lived in the Miocene, maybe 20 million years ago. So really, we've got ear bones, but not this big. And it protects the eardrum. So the eardrum is a thin membrane that enables you to hear. So this protects the whale's ear and eardrum, so when it's underwater, it can still hear. So it's really thick to protect it. Did you want to have a feel? Be very careful with that one, that's fine. Do you want to do one then? You think you know what this one is? Can you hold it up for the camera? I'll show you, we'll keep the camera on and I'll show you all the doors in a moment. Here you go. So what do you think you've got here? Is it Casper? Yeah, Casper. What do you think you might have here? Megalodon tooth. Straight in there, Casper. Yeah, how did you know it's a megalodon tooth? Much larger than a great white tooth. Indeed. Casper is very correct. Very correct, sorry. Casper's correct. Megalodon teeth. Half of one here, but a whole one here and a small one. This is a small megalodon tooth. With sharks, like Megalodon, the largest shark we know to have ever lived, about 10 times bigger than the largest great white. So, have you paced it, Helen? Shall we pace it? If you go that way, and I'll go this way, sorry to the camera crew, this is annoying. Okay, here we go. Come to me, Helen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 plus 9, 18. 18 metres is a megalodon, so it's bigger than the width of this room. Thanks, Helen. Yeah, they can go around the room. Should we send those around? So let's just get us back on track with our advent calendar, if we could have the screen. You've got them, have you? So this was door 7 with the ear bone, the tympanic bone. So it belongs up at the top there. And then door 8, as Casper so wonderfully told us, the megalodon tooth. Shall we do one more together? We'll do one more together. So we're now on to door number 9. And door number 9 is another skull. Suki, would you like to hold this one? So let me just tell you all, this jaw, those ones skulls, they came apart. This, I have to be a bit careful with this one because it's attached, okay? So what do you think, Suki? What can you tell us about that one? It's got teeth. What, are any of them bigger than the rest? They're big at the front, aren't they? It's got big, strong teeth at the front. Excellent. Do we know any animals like that? Hamsters. Look at the size. Do we think this could be a hamster?
I'm thinking maybe like an
It's not ancient, this one. This animal is still very much alive. I'll give you some clues. It's a marsupial. Do you want to have a hold of that one? A marsupial. Marsupials have a pouch, like kangaroos, koalas, but it's neither of those. Let me give you some more clues, and then you can all shout it out if you know, okay? So we'll do a shouting out one here, but I'll tell you when to shout it out. So we've got the skull, we've got an idea of the size. It's a marsupial, and it does a lot of digging. And so its pouch that makes it a marsupial is facing backwards, so the dirt can't go in there. I'll give you 2 more clues. They have cube-shaped poo. They have cube-shaped poo. Do you know what it is? Okay, I'll help you out with the names. It's got cube-shaped poo and a reinforced bottom. So that when it's digging its burrows, if something wants to come and attack it, it just sticks its bottom out and the attacker runs into a reinforced bottom. Okay, some of you... Okay, Suki knows what it is but can't remember. If I tell you it starts with a W, on 3 I'll shout popcorn. My daughter's school do this. I didn't get to 3. My daughter's school do this. When they want everyone to shout it, they say popcorn, and then the answers pop around the room. So, 1, 2, 3, popcorn! Indeed. So behind door number 9, we have a wombat. Well done. Shall we take your lab coats back, and you can sit down comfortably for the last few? Are you all right? Let's do the buttons, shall we?
I'm fine.
you go over and see Becky, she'll have a little sticker for you to say, well done for being a detective. Just a second, you can pop it on the floor, it's fine, thank you. Pop it down. Thank you very much. Just pop it down there. Pop it down here, that's fine. Would you like me to help you? You were so good. Oh, we've got one more. You're very welcome. Okay, so we're just over halfway through. We're going on to one of our bigger specimens now, and our older. Behind door number 10, we move on to the basketball. The basketball represents something from an animal that is about 150 million years old. The basketball represents the eyeball of the creature, the largest eyeball of any animal that we know of. This creature is one of its vertebrae. Again, a vertebrae somewhere around 120, 130 million years old. So the vertebrae, which makes up the backbone of an animal that had a really big eye. Why might it need a really big eye? What might that tell you about where it lives? In the red t-shirt or jumper? Yeah, why has it got a big eye? Where do you think it might live? Deep, did you say? So deep underwater. Yeah, well, there's not much light, indeed. It's a marine reptile, an ancient marine reptile. Dominated the seas. Who would like to have a guess at this animal? It would be about 5 meters long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to go for anyone standing on a chair. The gentleman back there, have you got a tie on? Yeah? Nice and loud for me? Squid, no. Squids do, giant squid have a big eye. This one's bigger. Let's go for this side of the room. Stripy top. Oh, you're both stripy. Together. Ichthyosaur. Wonderful. Yeah. An ichthyosaur. Oh, what is that, you say? It is one of the largest marine reptiles ever known. These are obviously artistic interpretations because we weren't around 150 million years ago. What number? Number 10. So behind door number 10, how do you spell ichthyosaur? I-C-H-T-H-Y-O saur, S-A-U-R. Ichthyosaur. I think keep the camera on, it's fine, we'll go. So behind door number 11, I mean, even with this camera, I'm going to turn it like this. I'm going to slowly come closer and see if we can. This is not, as somebody guessed when I showed them the other day, this is much more exciting than what it looks like as a urine sample. It's not a urine sample. Can you see that it's really cloudy at the bottom here? In this tube, there are many organisms. Would anyone like to guess how many organisms in this tube? In the pink top. 1 million. Okay, I'll tell you there's 10 million in one decent drop. Yes? Go on. 5 million. So 5 million would be about this bottom section. I'll have one more guess. Might need a grown-up to help me demonstrate this one in a minute. That's it, over on the edge there. How many do you think? Yeah? No, behind you. I think he's got a coat on. How many do you think? Trillion, was it 3 trillion? No, not as many as 3 trillion. In this tube are 500 million, 500 Well, I'll tell you, on Thursday morning when they were counted with a special machine, 507,300,000. There'll be a few more because they'll have kept dividing since then. 507 million. Very small organisms. Most life on Earth is made of very small organisms. And you can understand why when you can get 500 million in this container. Now, would you like to know a bit more about these 500 million animals? Creatures. Can I have a couple of adults who don't mind looking a bit silly in the build-up to Christmas? Are there any adults who don't mind looking a bit silly in the build-up to Christmas? Yes, thank you very much. We've got a volunteer. Lady in the pink jumper, thank you very much. The adult has to volunteer themselves. I couldn't possibly. Thank you very much. So the animals, the organisms that are in here, if we can just show what they look like. So this is zooming in on them a little bit. So that's zooming in a little bit, and this is zooming in a lot more. And these are a type of organism called a dinoflagellate. Now, grown-ups, what are your names? Mel and Phil. Right, I can do that. Mel and Phil. Right, we'll do this together. I won't make you do it on your own. These are dinoflagellates. They have two flagella. They're like the thread-like structures coming out. All dinoflagellates, and there are thousands of different species, but they all have these two flagella. And where they're positioned is different for each species. These particular ones have one flagellum pointing in this direction, if we could have a left arm up, and yours as well, yes. And one pointing in this direction, and they use them to move. So these dinoflagellates, thank you very much, of which there are many different species, all have these two flagella, and they all use them to move differently. And BookBugs have got some great kids' books all about these microscopic organisms, so you can learn more about them if you'd like to. So thank you very much for demonstrating that for us. Okay, door number 12. You're still with me. Door number 12, we have footprints and a sound. Now the sound here, there's a lot of sound in here, and what you're trying to pick out is the pitter-patter. It sounds like rain, but it's not. It's an unusual sound that just is associated with this species. So listen to the pitter-patter. And if I add this in, what do you think that might be the pitter-patter or the footprints of? Let's do popcorn again. 1, 2, 3, popcorn. Reindeer. That pitter-patter sound you heard, for the anatomists in the audience, the pitter-patter sound you heard are tendons slipping over the bones in the back feet. And that clicking noise is so reindeer, when they're in a snowstorm and they can't see each other, they need to stay with their herd or they're in big trouble. So they follow the sound of the tendons in the back feet, the clicking sound. They can't stop it. You can't walk quietly if you're a reindeer. You're always clicking. So well done. Door number 12 was a reindeer. Door number 13, we're on the final row here now. Door number 13 is hiding whatever laid this egg. This egg is quite big. It's not the biggest egg. We'll talk about the biggest egg in a moment. But what's impressive about this egg and the creature that laid it, this egg takes up most of the body cavity of the female of this species. The egg weighs 1/4 of the female's weight. And 2/3 of that egg is yolk. So when the young hatch, they've got 2.5 weeks worth of food while they figure out how to forage, which is an amazing evolutionary adaptation. So what do we think we have here? Yes, a kiwi. This is indeed the egg and skeleton of the kiwi. So the female kiwis can lay maybe 100 eggs in their lifetime. They're quite prolific egg layers. And if you come and look at this skeleton later on, you'll notice that the nostrils are at the end of the beak, which is an adaptation you don't usually see in birds. So well done. So that was door 13. Look at our advent calendar. We're filling it up now. We're doing really well. Let's go to door number 14. Door number 14 is another bird. And I've got a satsuma to go with this one. Not because they eat them or because their eggs are like them. No, this bird lays the largest egg that we know of in the world. But this satsuma is the size of its eye. This is the fastest bird on land. 1, 2, 3, popcorn, Itzy. Wonderful. Yes, these feathers have indeed come from an ostrich. So compared to the kiwi, whose egg weighs a quarter of the female's weight, the ostrich, which lays the biggest egg in the world, the egg only weighs 1 or 2% of the female's weight. So that really is quite a feat for the female kiwi. Right, we've got 3 to go. So behind door number 15 is a creature, an animal, that filled a very similar role, had a very similar job to the ichthyosaur, the marine reptile. But this one took over. When ichthyosaurs went extinct, this took over. So this was a dominant predator. Look at those teeth. And if I can show you, how close do I need to come? A bit closer. Can you see in here? Let's get the light right on it. Oh, I've got to work backwards. There we are. It's a second set of teeth in here. Can you see that second set of teeth? I'll get my hand out of the way. Maybe if I do it. Oh, there, you can see them. You can see them just in here. Yeah. The second set of teeth. They were a formidable predator. I'm going to give you a clue. If you've watched any recent films with dinosaurs in, this is really important in some of the closing scenes that saves all the people. Does anybody think they might know what this came from? Waving at me in the red jumper, yes. Mosasaurus, well done. So the Mosasaurus, like the ichthyosaurs, marine reptiles, but these went extinct about 66 million years ago with the meteorite strike that wiped out most dinosaurs. Their tail, you see how their tail is flattened? Same like as a shark. So Megalodon had a similar flattened tail to give them really rapid bursts of speed. Very effective, voracious predator. And in Jurassic World, I think it's the right film. Thanks. I was trying to catch my husband's eye because he knows it, but he's not looking. In Jurassic World, it's the mosasaur that comes out and gets the Indominus Rex. So that's, if you haven't heard of it before, you might have seen it in that film. Okay, let's do the final 2 then. So our advent calendar is nearly full, I hope. We've got another sound for this one. This is the last sound we're going to listen to. So listen up to this one. So this is 4 different males you can hear calling to each other. They produce feathers like these. These particular species lives around the Mediterranean, so you might have heard them at night if you've been on holiday around the Mediterranean. What birds might you hear at night? An owl, indeed. These feathers are from a Scops owl, and they're quite cute. Look. Have a look at this. feed on small mammals. They swoop down. Their big eyes help them to swoop down and pinpoint where their prey are, which they grab off a tree or off the ground with their sharp claws or talons. So that's a scops owl, S-C-O-P-S, scops owl. Which brings us to our final door. Behind the final door lies the animal that made this poop. Now, just let's give you some context. Remember, this is the giraffe. Oh. So here's the giraffe poop, slightly smaller. And here was the donkey. And some of you, if you've got younger siblings, you may have been involved in nativities recently, this week perhaps. Some of you may have been this animal in the nativity. One of my children was this one, the donkey. Some of you may have been this animal in the nativity. This animal can survive extreme temperatures, from -30 to +40. So from really cold to really hot. And you sometimes see them looking really scruffy as they shed their fur, which they don't need in the summer. They're very distinctive for their humps, which they use to store fat that they can use for food. Waving at me. Oh, she stopped waving. What do you think it might be? A camel. Yeah, it's a Bactrian camel, this one. Let's show you the picture. So the Bactrian camel. Did any of you look a bit like that this week in the snow? So you can see they've got two humps. When they're storing lots of fat, the humps stand up tall. And when they start to droop over, like this one on the right, that's when they're starting to deplete their fat reserves. And as they break the fat down, they can get water from it as well. They can close their nostrils off to stop sand going up there in the summer. And they're wonderful, like I said, with extreme temperatures. So have you filled your advent calendar? No? What have you got missing, Suki? Because you came up. I'll help you, don't worry. You can match them up to there. So I hope you've enjoyed exploring behind the doors of that advent calendar. We will have these out for you to have a look at some of these specimens if you want to during the break or at the end of the talks. They'll be changing over and getting ready for the next talk. It just leaves me to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you to the people that helped me source all these specimens, and to, where are they, Helen, Ellen and Becky for making sure that the specimens kept moving around the room. I'd love to answer questions, but Hannah's going to let you know what's happening. But I'll hang around if you want to come and ask me anything, you can.
Over to me, yeah. So can we first of all just give Kelly a big round of applause? Thank you. We'll start there.